Hey, Cool Gamer. Happy Saturday, Cool Gamer. Ooh, it's almost dark. It's almost dark. It's almost dark. But that's okay because that's what the street lights are for. It's almost dark, but that's okay because that's what the street lights are for. That's what the mailbox lights are for. That's what the moonlight is for. So if anybody comes through here, just get up and walk with me. Get up and move a little bit. Stretch your legs out. Do some stretches. Stretch those arms. Bend at the waist. Stretch your torso and just walk. Walk, walk, walk at your own pace. Walk at your own pace. It can be slow. It can be brisk. It can be fast. It can be a jog. Or you can run. Whichever one you choose to do, whichever one you prefer to do, whichever one makes you feel good, whichever one is easiest for you right now. Walk, a brisk walk, a fast walk, a jog, or a run. It doesn't matter. All of them help. Take some deep breaths in and out. All of them work. All of them will work. You know, we got people, sometimes they don't like to move, they don't like to walk. That's okay. Just do a slow to brisk walk. We got kids playing out here. It's cooler outside. We got kids playing, having fun. Got people still barbecuing. You got Halloween parties popping up. It's a lot going on out here. It's a lot going on outside. So everybody's outside. Fall is that nice time to come outside. It's cool in the evenings, even when the sun is up. It's not so bad because you got that breeze. So y'all get outside and enjoy this cool fall weather before it gets before it gets too cold. Before it gets too cold. And some of you guys, I know some of you guys like it when it's cold. Hey T Racy, how you doing? Hey Lance Pride, hey everyone. Hey, hey, hey. Hey T Racy, how are you? And I forgot to mention when Cool Gamer came in. Y'all go over there and subscribe to Cool Gamer. Subscribe to T Racy. T Racy C Positive Corner. Y'all go over there, subscribe to her, and wait. and go over there and catch up on some of those videos and some of her lives that she has over there, because it's positive content. And y'all already know I love supporting positive content. Y'all look at the leaves. It's fall, it's fall, it's fall. It's fall. Yes, T Racy. Come on, get out there and walk. Get out there and walk, sis. I was just saying, it doesn't matter if a person has to start off slow, if they do a brisk walk, if they do a fast walk, if they jog, if they run, whatever makes you feel comfortable, or whatever feels good for you to do, especially if you're just starting out, just as long as you're doing something. As long as you're doing something, that means you're moving. You're moving. And it's best to move. It's best to move. It's better than being a couch potato. It's better than being a couch potato. Even if you can't, if you can't jog, or, for some other reason you can't walk a lot, like, medical reasons or whatever, just move a little bit. Move a little bit. It'll help you feel better. They say if you can talk while you're exercising, that's a good thing. But if you can't, that's okay. If you can't, that means, one, you just haven't worked up to that point, or two, you may be overextending yourself. So don't overextend yourself. It'll come. It'll come. And some people don't like talking when they work out. Some people don't like talking when they exercise. They just want to exercise. And I get that. Because sometimes you just want to, you know, soak up the atmosphere, the environment, the things that are going on around you. And you don't want to talk. That's fine. That's good. Just as long as you're moving. Just as long as you're moving. That's the key. So I hope you guys have been having a great Saturday so far. I hope your weekend is going great. I hope that you're getting some much needed rest. I hope that you've had some fun, especially if you worked all week. If you worked all week, get up this weekend and treat yourself. Treat yourself. Because working all week, you need to do something. Hello. You need to do something. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Hey, 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 young MIA. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. How are you on this Saturday? I hope you're well. I hope that you've gotten a great start to your weekend. I hope that you've gotten some rest. If you haven't gotten any rest, make sure that you get some rest tomorrow. That's what the weekend is for. Time for us to relax and unwind, rejuvenate, recharge, get some rest. And for those of us who work on the weekends, maybe you have to take that day during the week, that day or two during the week, to relax, rejuvenate, recharge, and just get some good me time in. Get some good me time in. I mean, I don't really walk. I'm not sure, MIA, because what I usually do is, like, I just got off my elliptical, so, and I did weights today. So this is really my cool down. So, a cool down only takes like 5 to 10 minutes. But since it's easier for me to come on here during my cool down, I come on here. And so I really don't count the miles or steps. I just cool down. And I end up staying on here longer. I end up staying on here longer than a traditional cool down, because this is my time to, like, kind of come on here and check with everybody, connect with everybody, and see what you guys are up to on a daily basis. I'm not on here every day, but over this summer, I was on here daily. I was on here pretty much daily. So you know, after like August or so, this had a couple of vacations. So then when I came back, I started getting ready to, you know, work a little bit extra for the holidays to get some holiday cash. So I don't really count my miles because this is just my cool down. Now, when I'm on my elliptical, it I have it set for cycles. It has cycles, and usually I do like 10 cycles. So I don't know how many miles that is, but I usually do 10 cycles because I know that there's a difference. Like 10 miles isn't 10 cycles, it's a little bit less. So, do you exercise, MIA? If so, what's your routine? Like, what do you do? What's your regimen? And for anybody coming through this live, if you do exercise, let us know what your routine is. Let us know, you know, your exercise patterns. You know, do you exercise in the mornings, the afternoons, at night? How many days per week? What's your favorite exercise? Like, do you do cardio only, or do you do cardio and weight training? Which I really, really suggest to do both. You know, the bit more tone you are, or you know, especially ladies, we don't want to be real bulky, but we do want to be toned. We want to be fit, and of course, guys probably want to be bulky. But the stronger you are, the longer you can do your cardio. The stronger you are, typically, the longer you can do your cardio. From time to time, that's good. That's good. Hey, that's a start. That's better than nothing. From time to time, it's better than nothing. I saw T. Racy says that she needs to start walking, so I'm hoping that she does. And if you're not used to it and you don't do it and you're just starting, just start out like 3 days a week. I know people's schedules are busy. If you can't do 3 days a week, start off with 2 days a week. You know, and if you find yourself saying like, I just can't do it, I don't have time, think about the times when you're kind of just sitting down. You know, think about the times when you're kind of just sitting down. And what do they tell us? They say, don't be a couch potato. So think about the times that you're kind of just sitting down, kind of chilling out and relaxing. And, you know, don't be discouraged. Do it by yourself. I know a lot of times it's better to have a partner. For some people, it works better for them. It motivates them more to have a partner. But sometimes, you know, when it comes to certain things like exercising and other things in life, you try to team up and have a buddy system and have a partner. But when that buddy slacks, we'll tend to slack. When that buddy slacks, we'll tend to slack. So I figure the best thing to do is to just try your best to motivate yourself. Motivate yourself, and then you can be a motivator for someone else. Because sometimes people will slack off because the partner that they chose, you know, they just may not be into it yet, or they may have other things going on. And then you tend to not do it because they're not doing it. So sometimes sometimes you got to get yourself another partner, a different partner. And sometimes you don't need a partner. Sometimes you just got to do it. Just like they say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Sometimes you just got to do it yourself. Having a partner is good, but sometimes, you know, partners kind of slack off, and that tends to make you slack off. So just do it yourself. Just do it yourself. I know a lot of times people's work schedule, you know, their work schedule kind of throws them off and they can't. Yeah, that's what you're just saying. My job involves heavy lifting and I consider it working out. Yeah, well, and look, especially if it truly is heavy and it's you lifting a lot. Um, who was it? It was Looney, Looney Tunes, another content creator. He said that he gets a lot of walking in on his job, you know. So I don't know how many hours Looney works, but I think he works pretty often. I think he works long hours. But he says he does a lot of moving around on the job. And to me, that's the next best thing to exercising. I still feel like I'm up a lot at work and I move around a lot, but that's at work, and I'm just not. When I'm at work, I'm focused in on work and what I'm doing, even though I'm moving. But when I'm exercising on my own for fitness, I focus more on me, not just the physical part, but the mental part, the emotional part. So even if you do move around a lot at work, or if you lift a lot, I suggest always at least 15 minutes a day. I suggest 30 minutes a day, but at least 15 minutes a day. Just take some time out for you to take a stroll, a slow walk, a brisk walk, to just get your mind together. Because it's more than just the physical. It's also more than just about our physical. It's about our emotional and our mental. And sometimes, like Looney says, he moves around a lot at work, but typically when I'm moving around a lot at work, I'm not really focusing on kind of de-stressing and resolving and releasing mentally and emotionally and spiritually. So I always suggest that you move, you know, on your own time, not just what you do at work. Now, if you have a job where it's kind of like you're doing 12-hour shifts and you work 4 to 5 days a week, then yes, it can be hard. It can be hard. But on that off day, or maybe when you work out on the last day or two, try to just take you 30 minutes of time to just, sometimes you can let loose some of the stresses that you had at work during that time too. That's the advantage of jobs that require heavy lifting. Yep, yep, yep. And with that, just make sure that your technique and your form is good, because I see so many people picking up objects with their back, with their back. They don't take the proper stance, the feet width. They don't take the proper stance because they just get so used to doing it because it's work. But if you're heavy lifting, you're on a job where you're heavy lifting, you don't want to injure yourself. Even when you do proper technique, sometimes you can, get injured. I see so many people who work, they do a lot of lifting, but their lifting techniques are off. They don't have the proper stance. They don't go down and bend and lift with the knee. Sometimes their stance is too wide. Sometimes their stance is too narrow. I suggest shoulder width, sometimes maybe just a tinge, just a slight bit wider than shoulder width, but definitely shoulder width stance, bend at the knees and lift, with your body. Don't lift with your back, lift with your knees, your whole body. And that will really, it may not prevent every injury, but it prevents a lot of injuries. Most jobs that train properly go over proper lifting. But a lot of times when we're in a hurry or we're just working, sometimes we kind of forget, some of us will forget to lift properly. So I always suggest that, you know, if you have a job where you're sitting at a desk a lot or at a computer, make sure that you get up and move around. Make sure that you get up and move around. If you have a job where you stand a lot, make sure you take your breaks where you can sit. Yes, yes, definitely. MIA. Proper lifting, you lifting with the legs, work they that helps, exactly. Exactly. It helps with your legs. It helps with your leg strength. Yep. And most jobs teach, and if you need that back brace, if it's that type of lifting, if you need that back brace, use your back brace. Most jobs will supply back braces when people, need back braces when it comes to lifting. So if you're on a job that provides you with a back brace, please use it. Use it. They provided it for you, so use it. If they've provided you with a back brace for your safety, make sure you use that back brace. And if there's ever a time where you feel like you haven't been trained properly, or you just don't know if you're doing it correctly, go to your supervisors so that they can show you. Yes, always wear a back brace. Definitely. Especially if your job consists of lifting a lot, like factory jobs, nursing jobs, um, any type of medical job. It doesn't just have to be nursing, because it could be paramedics, nurses, nursing assistants, um, just primary caregivers. If it's not your job, but if you're taking care of someone in your family, if you're a primary caregiver, or if you're giving them a break and you're letting them, take a break and you're helping them out with their family member, make sure that you have a brace. Never try to lift someone or anything without the proper gear. Without the proper gear. Make sure that you have a brace. Make sure that you know the proper stance and proper techniques. And actually, you can Google it. You can literally Google everything, even that, you know, proper lifting techniques, proper ways to lift, whether it be lifting a person or lifting objects, proper ways to lift. You can Google that. I can't believe it's been 22 minutes. Thank you guys for everyone who came through this live. Again, anything that you hear on this live is not meant to be professional or medical advice. It's just things that we know. They're nuggets. I like to say that we drop nuggets over here, and we drop those nuggets so that the people in the chat and anyone who comes across this live can pick those nuggets up. And if you would like, leave a nugget in the comment section. Just things that work for us that may help you or someone you know. Drop in some things that work for you that may help us in this chat or someone we know. None of it is meant to be professional advice, just educational. Because even if you don't do it, whatever you hear, always double check. Anything that you hear that someone tells you, always double check. Because again, we're not giving professional advice over here. We're just giving you nuggets and things that help us, and things that we know that tend to typically work for most people. We can't say all. I think that's a thing that we have in this society. We get to the point where we say all. And yeah, I know sometimes when you're just talking, sometimes people literally take it to mean all. If you say it, especially on social media, if you say all or y'all, people literally feel like they're included in that. But my saying with that is, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. If I had just said, y'all be out at work lifting the wrong way, well, if you know you're not at work lifting the wrong way, then you're not included in the y'all, right? Hey, Rob, comfortable sneakers. Yes, yes, MIA. Yes, yes, young MIA. Comfortable sneakers. Hey, Rob, welcome to the live. How you doing, Rob? Rob, we on here talking about lifting techniques, proper ways to lift, whether you're lifting people because you're providing care, or whether you're at work lifting heavy objects. We just want people to know that there are proper ways to lift. So, to prevent injury. It may not prevent all injuries, but I promise you, it'll help prevent the bulk of them. It'll help prevent the bulk of them. So it may not prevent all injuries, but making sure that your feet are wide enough apart, not too close together, not too wide apart, about shoulders length, about shoulders width apart, to maybe slightly a little bit wider, but not much at all. Bend at your knees when you're lifting heavy things. Allow your knees and your legs to lift up whatever you're picking up. You know, do stretches, even for those who don't exercise, especially if you work jobs where you do heavy lifting and stuff like that. Doing stretches is a good thing for that. So, like we were saying, sometimes people have schedules where they can't really incorporate exercise into their schedules. Well, I feel like when you get up to shower for work or whatever, when you're in the bathroom, take at least 5 minutes to get you a couple of torso stretches at the waist, forward, backward, side to side. Hold out those hands and stretch the arms and fingers and hands. It'll help you more than you know. You'll feel better at work. Loosen up. It'll help loosen you up. just kick that leg back, come up on the toe, stretch that calf out. So it'll make you feel better at work. It gives you that same feeling that you get right before you exercise and right after you exercise. So make sure that if you're exercising and you can talk, that's great. But if you can't talk, don't worry about it. Because if you're having a hard time exercising and talking, then, like I said, one, you haven't worked up to that yet, and it'll come the more you work out. Or two, you're overexerting yourself. Sometimes you have people who know they haven't worked out in years, months or years, and they jump out here and they want to do all this extra stuff. Well, if you haven't been running in 10, 2, 4, 5, 10 years, don't go out there and try and run a marathon off the top. Don't do it. Don't do it. MIA says people think drinking coffee in the morning is stress. People think drinking coffee in the morning is stretching. Yep. Some people feel like coffee is their jump starter. And I'm not going to tell them what is and what isn't. But what I do know is that the natural things that we do, if we take the time to do them, and if we give them the time to work, sometimes those things trump coffee and tea any day. They trump caffeine any day. And I like caffeine from time to time. You guys will see me put up a short where I'm pouring up a Mountain Dew or a Coke. But lately, I haven't been drinking them at all. And if I do, I'm just pouring it up for someone else and I put it on a short. But, I know what it's like to want the taste sometimes of the stuff that's kind of like that you don't need. But, as we get older and as we mature, we want to try and stay as healthy as possible. And caffeine, though it has some positive components to it, generally not so much. Like when you go to the doctor, you go into a doctor's appointment, if you smoke, drink coffee, try not to do so 15 minutes before your appointment because caffeine can raise your blood pressure. It can have the effect of raising your blood pressure. I'm not going to say it'll make your blood pressure go from 120/80 to 140/100. But if you go to the doctor and your blood pressure is like maybe 10 points higher than it usually is, think about it. Did you have coffee that morning? Because like Young MIA says, some people take coffee as their morning stretch. Did you have coffee? Did you smoke? So try not to smoke or have caffeine, whether it's coffee, Pepsi, Coke, or whatever. Try not to have those things if you're going to your doctor's appointment, at least 15 minutes before. If you got to have it, wait till after your doctor's appointment, And then if you start to notice lately that your blood pressure or your pulse or something is elevated, how much caffeine have you been taking in? And it could be that you're taking in the normal amount, but our bodies are getting older. The things that we could do, it's just like we could turn flips like crazy when we were kids, right? Only few of us can still turn flips like that. Only few of us can still turn flips like that. You have to know your limits. And even a gymnast could probably do 20 backward flips when she's 16, 18, 22, almost 30. But when she's 45, please don't. You may be able to do about 5. You may be able to do about 5. But yes, stretching, it does help with helping to prevent injuries. Like I said, it may not prevent all, but it can help. And then maybe if you get an injury, if your body's used to being loosened, maybe it won't be as bad. So it can kind of help with injuries as far as the number, and it can help with the intensity of the injury. Rock said, "Hey, lunch Friday, everyone. Young MI says people drink. Oh yeah, I would stop drinking coffee if my blood pressure goes up. Yeah, yeah. And see, sometimes it's like, how Young MIA you can say things to people, and they'll say something like, well, it hadn't done it before. I know my body, But what they don't understand is that as we get older, our body changes. And when I say as we get older, it doesn't have to mean that you're in your 40s or 50s. If you could do it and you were 25, well, by the time you're 30 now, you've been doing it since high school or college. Some things you have to kind of change. You have to cut back on, or you have to stop altogether. Some people say, well, when I stop drinking coffee, I kind of get these withdrawals. Yeah. Yeah. Probably get a headache, probably get a lot of things, get jittery, and you get that coffee and it stops it. Coffee is not a drug, but you can say it has the effect of a drug. So yeah, you stop it. That's why it's just like with anything. It's like some medications. Once you've been taking them for a while and you say, hey, I'm going to try to get this blood sugar down, this blood pressure down, you can't just stop it immediately. You have to taper off. You've been drinking caffeine all your life. Most likely, you could stop cold turkey. Some people can, but a lot of times people have to taper it off. They have to taper it off. And so, and you can do it. You can do it. I saw a coach yesterday that stopped drinking alcohol altogether. Um, he was talking to another coach that does still drink from time to time, and that coach said, I used to could drink more. When I drink now, it seems like it takes me a day to recuperate. And he was like, even if it's just one drink. And so the other guy was saying he just stopped drinking because he didn't want to set that example for his kids. He was like, not judging anybody, but for him, his kids are grown now, but he still didn't want to set that example for his kids. Hey, badass. Hey, hey, hey. You hear that every day at work? What about that coffee? Do you hear that every day at work about the coffee? Badass says, good evening, ladies and gents. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, badass. How are you? How are you? How are you? How is that how's that vacation home going? What was it, badass? Am I wrong? Was it a vacation home? A timeshare? A vacation home? Whichever one it was, how's that going for you and your wife? I hope you guys have been enjoying that. So it's been 33 minutes, guys. And as you know, I wish you guys peace, positivity, and prosperity. Because when there's not peace, there's chaos. When there's not positivity, there's negativity. And wherever chaos and negativity breed and stir around, you fail to prosper to your fullest potential. If you get caught up in it, if you get caught up in it, don't allow yourselves to get caught up in it. Into the peaks, into the chaos and the negativity, don't allow yourselves to get caught up in it. Don't let bothered people bother you. Don't let stressed people stress you out. I always tell you guys, never go into any place and leave with more stress than you went in with, because we have enough things stressing us out on a daily basis. And if you don't have something stressing you out, then good. Good, you're in a great place. But most of us have been stressed, we're currently stressed, or there will be something that will stress us eventually that we just can't help. That's a part of our lives. So don't let someone else's stress you out. If it's not your children, your mate, your parents, someone significant to you, don't go into any place, whether it's a store, a bar, a department store, social media, even church. Don't let the people who are stressed out in those areas contribute to you having more stress. Just try your best not to do it. Young MISS people who believe their body is still the same as when they were young. Yeah, oh yeah, yep, yeah, you're absolutely right. You have some people who believe that they can do the exact same things. And if they just sit and think about it for a second, like the gymnast example, okay? If you haven't turned those 20 backflips in 10 years, what makes you think that you could do it? There are some phenoms, who could probably do it. But being truthful and realistic, you haven't done that in 10 years. What makes you can get out think you can get out there and do 20 backflips, even though you were a gymnast? You could probably do five. And you better gosh darn stretch. Badass says, I'm good. It's a beachfront rental. Okay, property. Okay, I got you. Still getting floors done. Okay. Okay. I know that you're excited about that. That's a good. That's just something good to look forward to. Something good to look forward to. Yes, young MIA, stress is definitely contagious. It's definitely contagious. It is. You're absolutely right about that. I thank you guys for coming into this live because you spent some time with me. You dropped some nuggets in my chat, and you could have been anywhere else. You could have been anywhere else. So I encourage you to move, to move, to move. I encourage you to relax, to unwind, to de-stress, because believe you me, there's enough stress to go around for everybody. Everybody, even when you're at your best, even when you're at your best. So try to enjoy it when you're kind of stress free. Enjoy the times that you're stress free, because like I said, you've either had it, you're having it, or you will have it. So out of those 3 times, there are 2 times, you know, at least one that you're not stressed out. So try to keep it that way. Try to keep it that way. Don't allow stressed people to stress you out. Don't allow bothered people to bother you. And when you need some encouragement, sometimes you just have to encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself, but try your best to be an encouragement to yourself and to others. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next Let's Walk and Talk. On the Let's Walk and Talk live. I appreciate you. I truly, truly do. I truly, truly do. I'm gonna let this play for a little while because I'm gonna show some support to some of the content creators who came into the chat the past couple of days. So you guys can hang around if you like. Thank you, Young MIA, for hanging out. You've been here the entire time. You have been out here. You have been here the entire time, and I do appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know it's Saturday, and like we were saying earlier, people are trying to have fun. They're trying to relax. May have had a long week, whether it was a long work week or just a long week in general. Thank you, Badass. Badass says later, y'all. I was late. That's okay, Badass. You can hang out. I'm gonna make sure to share some people out. I'm gonna make sure to share some people out who came through to support me because we have to support each other. Oh my goodness, sorry about that, y'all. We have to support each other. We have to support each other. And I always preach that. Support good, positive content. Even if the content is something that you don't like, if it's positive, if it's encouraging, if it's informative, if it's educational, or if it's just fun, you know, I say all the time, if you don't like cooking videos, but they're providing good recipes, some, good conversation, share them out. So give them a thumbs up. You don't have to stay around for the whole video. Just support them when you can and how you can, because we have so many people that we do want to support as well. So if you have a community wall, share people out who are being positive. Go over there and say hello to them. Leave a comment in the comment section. Of course, if they're on for a while and you can't stay around, you don't even have to go into the comment section if you don't want to. Just watching, just giving them a few minutes is very, very, very helpful. Later, Badass. Later, y'all. I'm going to let a little music play and I'm going to get out of here. But you guys can hang around and speak, say hello. If you haven't been in this live until this point, come on through anyway and just say hello. We'll be glad to have you. I'll be glad to see that you stopped by. So I will see you guys on the next one, the next Let's Walk and Talk. Let me let this music play. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, if it's the Lord's will. What do they say? If the creek don't rise, I can't remember what it is, but I know what I'm talking about. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. I was trying to show that moon. The moon is so bright, but I wasn't able to get a good shot of it. But I'm still here, y'all. Again, I'm about to show some support, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, fat ass. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Next stop. Next stop.